Welcome everybody to a look at a brand new 4K release from Vinegar Syndrome, and it is 1981's Southern Comfort. So this is directed by Walter Hill, who I've seen 12 other films from. Favourites being the likes of The Driver, 48 Hours and Extreme Prejudice, although this, quite frankly, is not that far behind those films. And this is an action thriller clocking in at 106 minutes long. Stars Keith Carradine, who was in the likes of The Duelists, The Long Riders and Thieves Like Us, as well as Powers Booth, who was in the likes of Frailty, Sudden Death, Extreme Prejudice, and Tombstone, and finally Fred Ward, who was in Tremors, Tremors 2 Aftershocks, Miami Blues, Escape from Alcatraz, and Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins, or in that case of that film, also ends because there were no further films. So yeah, this is about a squad of National Guards on an isolated weekend exercise, in the Louisiana swamp, who must fight for their lives when they anger local Cajuns by stealing their canoes and also firing on them with blanks. Without live ammunition and in a strange country, their experience begins to mirror the Vietnam experience. So, yeah, this is a bayou set nightmare that has nearly as much in common with a horror film as it does with similar action thriller films, as not only are the antagonists barely seen and numerous in numbers, but they, along with a superb setting, create an eerie atmosphere, dread and unrelenting horror. The score also helps set the mood while being well done in its own right. The cast is really rather excellent. The action scenes are well played out. The finale is incredibly tense, probably easily one of the most tense 15 minutes in any film, never mind in terms of finales. And there is no holding back on the violence, but it's not in an exploitative way. But although this doesn't have as much character depth as I would have liked, and if it wasn't quite so similar to The Warriors, a group of people in an unknown, in a location they're not overly familiar with, being chased down by a whole much larger group of people, it is kind of similar in that regard. This would be a classic, but verging on being so, it's still high praise for what is ultimately an underrated film. So yeah, really great film, to be honest. And yeah, well, like I said, one of my favourite Walter Hill films. Now, I already had this on Blu-ray from Second Sight. Yeah, they did a standard Blu-ray edition of that film. Looks perfectly fine in that edition, but yeah, it certainly looks that little bit extra, more special and better in this edition. So you get a really rather nice box with new artwork on it. And it's got a magnet little flap for it, so you don't have to worry about damaging it, getting it open all of the time. So get it open. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you can hear it. So yeah, a little magnet there. So yeah, which is nice to see, and it is obviously a sign of a more quality product that they've gone to that little extra length of presenting the box. So yeah, you get a little tag to pull everything out of, so you don't have to worry about scuffing up the edges. But yeah, you've also got really rather nice new artwork on the inside as well. And it is a proper hard box as well on top of all of that. And then you also get a slipcover artwork with the tagline on the bottom there, which is "It's a land of hospitality unless you don't belong there." So yeah, and these National Guardsmen really do not belong there. And then you have the case come out of the back there. So yeah, we've got a Blu-ray and 4K disc for this film. So the Blu-ray probably looks just as good as the Second Sight Blu-ray, but yeah, the 4K definitely does look that little bit better. I wouldn't say this is an essential release, because even though the cinematography is really good and I really like the location, it is at the end of the day set in a swamp, so there's just lots of trees, lots of foliage, and the like. So it's not like some massively scoped film or anything like that. But the 4K does still make the film overall look better. We also get a two booklets in this, so we get a little one that goes inside the case, which also has that at the back. So in here we have Swamp by Brian Brems, and then we also have some pictures of people involved, shots from the film itself, such as that one. So yeah, that's just Brian Brems just throughout that entire booklet there with shots from the film. And then we also get another booklet, much bigger one in terms of pages and obviously, you know, the way it's presented. And in this one, we have Weekend Warriors by Nicholas Rapold. And yeah, again, more shots from the film. And yeah, even though there were a lot of pages in this, there was also a lot of pages taken up by the shots from the film, but the writing also looks kind of smaller than it does in the other one. And then, yeah, so yeah, that's really excellent. And then on the disc itself, we've got a whole host of extras. So we've got the 106-minute feature presentation of Southern Comfort presented in HDR and newly restored from its 35mm into positive with the following sound options. So you've got original English language mono soundtrack with optional English subtitles and a commentary track with Walter Shaw, author of a Walter Hill film, Tragedy and Masculinity in the Films of Walter Hill. You've also got the Blu-ray disc containing everything on the Ultra HD disc, plus the following special features. So you've got Battle in the Bayou, which clocks in at 17 minutes long, which is a brand new interview with co-writer director Walter Hill. Then you've got Behind Enemy Lines, a 26-minute brand new featurette with editor Freeman A. Davies and assistant editor Lisa Zeno Jurgen. You got Soldiers Not Mailmen, 17 minutes long, brand new interview with costumer Dan Moore. Then you got Into the Unknown, a 15-minute brand new interview with film historian Wayne Byrne on Southern Comfort and the legacy of Walter Hill. Then you got an archival featurette featuring interviews with co-writer director Walter Hill and co-writer producer David Gieler, along with actors Powers Booth, Keith Carradine, Peter Coyote, and Lewis Smith. That's in at 27 minutes long. Then you got a still gallery, a video trailer, and the two booklets that I've already shown you there. So, yeah, I really, really like this film. It's not perfect by any means. Like I said, some of the characterization could have been a little bit better. Could be a little bit more different to say the Warriors, and there is a couple of moments that are a little bit on the sluggish side of things. But when it is tense, this is really, really tense. And like I said, the final 15 minutes of this are some of the most tense scenes I've seen in any film ever, quite frankly. So, yeah, really, really highly recommend it. Although, obviously, this being a US release, it will take a while to get to you if you are in the UK. And, yeah, even though it's not massively expensive, it still was around £34, which obviously for a 4K single film release is on the slightly dearer side of things, but it's no more than say Criterion releases or in terms of their 4Ks. But the box on this and the booklets and whatnot are a little bit more special, and yeah, at the end of the day, it's no more expensive than say A Touch of Evil from Eureka, which is somewhere behind me. So yeah, really a cracking film, excellent presentation in terms of the physical extras and also in terms of the way the 4K looks itself. And yeah, it's a solid 4 out of 5 for me. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.